Y'all gonna wake the fuck up? The force in the water, the jump in the lake. I've dried up and tied up in hopes I could stay. They'll find me a Monday, pirate extreme. Now I am the fountain of youth that you shine.
Becoming independent was one of the hardest.
It was a little weird.
The most scary.
Independence was strange.
There's not really a bigger wake-up call. It almost puts you in a sort of fight or flight situation.
We had to really think about where we wanted to go with this and tested our character and dedication to our crafts and our goals as a band.
There's a lot of challenges that come with that kind of role where, you know, before we had a full team of people working on a bunch of stuff for us, and we kind of just hopped in the van and did the thing.
We were still young, and we had spent our entire career with like a large management firm. We had like a good label. We had a business manager, everything. Our finances were watched for us. Our ideas were watched for us, you know, and then we had all this freedom and we didn't know what to do with it.
There was a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of bands that once they go through something like that, it's really hard to recover.
We didn't really know what was going to pan out for the future, what it was going to do for us.
The shoe's on your foot at this point. You know, your career, your path in life is all on you. It's solely on you no matter what. I'm pretty grateful for that opportunity because, like I said, it made us realize how much work went into that.
I think going through all of that trial and error led us to where we are today, and we made some mistakes here and there, but all in all, everything that we did made us bigger, made us stronger, made us better. And we didn't have anyone, while I wish we had somebody being like, that's a bad idea in some cases, I know that they would have told us that we should write different songs, or we should go a different direction, or the art that we're doing isn't right. Why are you using that director? Why are you using that producer? And it's because we wanted to.
We've always been people who've learned stuff the hard way. Campaigning our own song release through the connections we have and citing out opportunities to get our music on the radio and this playlist and that playlist and this magazine to co-post it and sort of like help with their platform, and you know, the companies that have supported the band. When you go from label to independent, let's be honest, you know, everyone's going to look and be like, it's really up to you at that point to like a sort of fight or flight situation. So you either pick up the pieces or you just take the L. And I've never been one to just sit back and take the L.
So we went full on independent, and then the pandemic happened. And honestly, it was very depressing the first couple of months. You know, you're sitting in your house or your room. You can't go to your normal job because no one can see each other in person. So at the time, I was teaching drum lessons on Zoom. A lot of what ifs, you know, what if music never comes back? What if Cane Hill never comes back? In the background, we were definitely working very hard.
Those 2 years gave us the most time we've ever had to really reflect on what we had done. I really don't think it happened at a better time for us. As shitty of a situation as that was, I think we needed that break. I think that was very important for us to reset our minds and have some time with our families and have some time with ourselves, most importantly, because being in a van and in a plane and in a bus and in a hotel and an Airbnb, you're just always around somebody. And while I love being around my friends and my family, because this is my other family, I think that we needed that space from each other to miss what we had accomplished.
It pushed me in a million different directions. For the band, I think, and we've talked about this, at the time that it happened, it took every other band and put them in a similar situation to us, where it was time to rethink the business of the band, rethink what we were doing, rethink our creative process and how we wanted to unleash our art into the world. So while we were in the process of becoming independent, which basically wiped us off the face of the map as far as like our status or our stature, as far as a lot of the music industry thought, made it to where every other band was in like this similar position where you can't tour, you can't make money, you have to find a new way to do things. Your management's never gone through this before, your label's never gone through this before, they don't know how to handle it, they're panicking. At least for us during COVID, we didn't sit back and think we have to rely on these other people, hopefully they come through for us. It was like an opportunity for us to come through for ourselves and become what we are and, you know, get a grip on our careers.
I think that's what allowed us to prepare, to take all the time throughout the pandemic, redevelop the band, and decide what the new sound, what the new direction, what the new look's gonna be. There was a lot of like self-evaluation. Obviously, it was a shot to the ego. That's when we wrote Power of the Hive. But we went into that release expecting nothing. We just wanted to release a song and let people know that we were still doing stuff. I think for an independent band with a shitty YouTube channel, the video to do as well as it did was a really good feeling. To us, it felt like a sign, like, okay, this isn't over. We can keep pushing. We can keep trying and seeing where it goes.
John Boy.
Oh, Johnny Boy. I think I met him through Drama, our old merch guy. For those who don't know, Brandon Landry. Their band, Damon Grimm, had been going to John for a while, and this is one of those fun branches off of being independent and being able to work with whoever we want. We didn't want to go to Los Angeles and write songs with a bunch of highbrow people. We've done it before. Never really turned out the way we wanted it to. We just wanted to write with ourselves, and I wanted, selfishly, somebody who could help me track vocal demos and have it kind of sound as good as a record might. It's really hard to write vocals when it sounds like a demo.
I was offended. I was like, you don't like how my demos sound?
This could be good, but my screams sound like they're underwater or something. So found John, I hit him up, I was like, hey, do you want to get together? We can talk about doing some business. His wife, my wife, we were all there. He walked in wearing like snakeskin boots or something. So he helped us big time by just doing that pro bono. As a friend, he wanted to work with us. We wanted to work with him.
First time experience walking in, this dude is just the most charismatic guy ever. Super positive, super vibey kind of atmosphere, which I wasn't really expecting at first, because when you get into a environment where you have to perform, you have to record these parts and pretty much make a song out of thin air, it's very stressful. It's a very stressful situation. And to have that kind of positivity in the background from the get-go, that was amazing. I love John as a person, as a human being, and as a producer.
John is probably one of the sweetest, most humble producers I've ever worked with. Really takes what I've learned as a bassist in my career, and he takes it to heart, and he absorbs the information I give him, also with a grain of salt, because there's always two opposite ends of the spectrum. He's a producer. I'm very much more tailored to a live setting, so finding that happy balance of what sounds good live, transferring into a record setting is not an easy feat.
We're real, like, similar. He grew up recording bands, and I grew up recording bands. So conversation would spark up, like, oh, blah, 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 blah. He and I sort of developed chemistry pretty early on. We had this, like, mutual respect, and when it came to the songwriting part, he took a step back. He didn't really have many notes. And he just was kind of like figuring us out. And when you go into a studio with someone, you kind of have to like gauge how they take criticism. We were doing the parts, and I was like, yo, what do you think of it? Is this riff go hard? And he was like, I think you can do one better, you know? And I was like, okay, well, yeah, like, fucking tell me. So we liked the experience so much that we were just like, okay, let's just get him to mix it, because like I said, the power release was real modest.
In the usual situation, we'd go record like a bulk of songs all at once, and once they were done, they were done. We couldn't really come back and be like, fuck, I wish I had changed this, I wish we had done something differently, this vocal doesn't sound quite right, I guess I have to live with that forever. It's like, I'm gonna go drive 15 minutes down the road, I'm gonna fix it real quick.
He's just been nothing but kind to us, and great to work with, so yeah, it was super awesome meeting John.
The new direction of the band, I feel like, was just straight anger. We were pissed off, you know. We had a lot of people behind our backs. Everybody kind of just vanished. With COVID happening and all the other stuff going on, personal experience, I was just pissed off, dude. I was like, we put years of our life into this project, slept in a van for years, you know, lived off of $5 to $10 a day, not really making any money, not making ends meet at all. You know, there was a point in time where I was homeless, you know, and I was living with James. So I poured my life, my heart, my soul into Cane Hill, and that kind of fueled the fire.
We kind of just picked and pulled the best parts of all of our releases. We'll always be huge nu metal and grunge fans and metalcore fans and hip hop fans, and we more so like to blend all of our musical tastes and influence together. And I think that that's what you've got now is guys like to listen to 90s music, pop music. Myself, I want to listen to Pantera and Meshuggah all the time. So I think having those aggressive sides mixed with the softer sides of other people's musical tastes.
We tried so many things. We tried doing longer songs that were more like Gojira-esque and spacey, really poppy stuff, like really, really soft stuff. Tried more grungy stuff. That felt like the biggest box. We knew we didn't want to do any more acoustic Kill the Sun stuff. We wanted to release more heavy material to sort of capitalize on that sound. Eventually it just led to, let's just fucking put breakdowns and everything. So that made the songs better. A lot better. To be completely honest, it felt for a long time that we had not enough of ourselves in the music, if that makes sense. Like, we took tons of inspiration from incredible bands and made some really awesome songs, but, you know, it didn't feel like we had developed our own flavor yet, you know, our own real identity. Now more than ever, I feel confident that we do write songs in a unique way, and we finally figured out
what defines us as a band, and that makes me really excited.
James likes to keep getting lower, which means I have to sing higher. So I'm like constantly going through the gauntlet. It's been fun, but that's all different. The singing's different. The screaming's different. It's all, if I had to say anything about it, I'd just say like my vocals personally are going far and away from, I think, the classic metalcore vocals that I've done for so many years, and branching out into like trying to be more artistic, adding some more pop influence to everything I do. Steering away from a lot of the grungy harmonies that I've been doing. In general, I think what we're writing is bigger, and it's the first time that I feel like we've gone into an album with an idea of wanting to create like a very specific sound, a very specific feeling. We know what the whole album is about. We know what it's rooted in the anger, in the hopelessness, in the fear that was our lives for the past 2 or 3 years, when everything just kind of, from our career to the world, took this downward shift. So sonically, I'd say we finally know what we want to be, and this is the first time that we get to go into a record with that on our minds, and it's helping us create something that's truly bigger than anything else we've released.
One of the things that made this all just a little bit more possible was starting the Patreon. Not only did it help us out, but it inspired us to have more ideas for content. It's really awesome to know that we have fans out there that care that much and want to help that much and want more from us. Patreon was a really, really great thing. It's just cool because, like, the content you're making for the people in there, they really do appreciate it. They really do want it. There is a piece of you that's like, oh man, I really got to deliver. I think that's a valuable thing. I think it's a good problem to have. I got to give a special shout out to Maddie, or as y'all might know, Erupting. We hired Maddie around the time of the Power of the High release. We liked what she did so much that we just kept going back because, you know, why not? And now we're all really good friends. Not only was Maddie a part of the merch, but she would go on to do the entire Drag Me Down release. I think it's fair to say that, you know, she has been a pinnacle piece of this whole comeback and everything. She would even go on to do the Crew to Sing tour.
We've only done one headliner in our lives. We've done, you know, headlining shows here and there. It was a good time, but I felt like there was just some moving pieces and parts that ended up falling out of place leading up to or during the tour. Having new material, we kind of just seized the moment and said, look, it's time. We should have done this sooner, but life gets in the way sometimes.
A lot of stuff was filled up. You know, you had all these festivals that Cane Hill has played before, but the lineups from 2020 had been postponed till 2021, 2022. All these tours that were supposed to go out pre-pandemic had now been postponed to everybody could get out and do some shit again. Headliner was just a no-brainer. We wanted to show people the fact that Cane Hill is a reputable band.
Like headliners, that we need to do a fucking headliner. So we talk about independence a lot, and with independence there comes the burden of the industry looks at you differently, and that's just a fact. It's unavoidable. Sure, we are financially in a better position than we've ever been. Our fan base has grown quicker as an independent band than it ever has. Our marketing is better. We're smarter, but managers, labels, booking agents, they're looking at what you have on paper as far as your team, who you know, what you can do for them, which is just an unfortunate truth about the way this industry works, and we're not going to change it. No, I don't know who's going to change it. We try.
Not amazing offers. Like, some offers were just disrespectful. And then some offers were like, I understand, but
No, it's all love, but sheesh. So when you submit for a tour, when your booking agent submits you for a tour, or whatever your situation is, it's your bands, what you got going on, some information that's not out yet. Under that, it's your team. For us, when we send the email, it said Cane Hill, independent. The ugly truth is a lot of people in the industry, they look at that and they're like, and they start questioning clout, relevance, liability. Is it worth it to take out an independent band? A lot of people don't want to do that. When people make tours, they want the hot band or the band with a lot of clout. They want them to have music coming out and a team, because your team pays for marketing and yada yada. I can keep going. None of that really matters. The point I'm trying to make is just put us in a position where we were like, okay, all right, well, we'll just do our own tour.
The headliner is just our last fuck you to everyone, taking out bands that have the marketing and the clout that comes with the label. We're giving them some good shows, so that's fun for me.
Out of line. I remember my previous job was in a welding shop and was just not happy in life and in where I was in the place. And I loved welding and, you know, working with my hands and being a literal cowboy. There was aspects of my life that were unfulfilled. So I remember I was sitting in the shop. It was real early, blistering hot. I'm sweating gallons, dude. I get this email and it says out of line.
When something like that happens, your peers in the industry find out pretty quickly. It's a lot smaller than it might seem.
We had 2 or 3 more songs still left to release, a few more other milestones that we wanted to achieve, goals we had set for ourselves that we wanted to do without anybody's help. What I appreciate about Out of Line is them being so patient with us, figuring out what we really wanted to do, conversating with us in a way that was not pushing or pressuring. Those guys are fantastic. They're hilarious, and I think that relationship was something that was meant to happen. I'm very glad it facilitated in the nature that it did.
They were interested pretty early. We weren't really keen to the idea of signing again right away. We were more interested in solidifying a manager, and we tried a few, and it eventually led to Witt managing the band.
After every conversation we had, we never felt bad about them. We never felt like it would be a bad decision to go with them. We always wanted to go with Out of Line. It was just a matter of when should we at all go with a label. And when we finished our crew series, Volume 1 and Volume 2, we reached out to them. We're like, hey, we're done with our shit. We'd like to sign up to start releasing music with y'all.
They love Cane Hill for who we are. They wanted us to be 100% us, and that's what we wanted out of a label, is somebody that believed in the art and the project that we had going on.
It felt real. The stuff that they had to say about the band, the material we made, they were clearly fans and aware of details about the band, and that was flattering.
That's the reason we ended up at Out of Line. We had conversations with every label that you as a metalcore viewer could possibly want us to have conversations with. We saw the offers that they were giving us, we saw the contracts, we heard their selling points, and a lot of them sounded great. And then they'd get the paperwork in front of us and we'd be like, this is the worst deal I've ever seen. It made us feel like, oh, they don't see the growth that we've had, they don't care about the growth that we've had. We're just a quick ticket for them to make a few dollars, and if we become successful, great, they'll reap even more rewards. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted a label that cared about us, a label that cared about our music, our artistic integrity, and our ability to survive as musicians and artists.
The future of Cane Hill is bright, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of new music, all these fancy lights. I got this fucking beautiful Gretsch kit behind me that I've been building. Everybody, I feel like, is in the best place that we've ever been in. Keep striving for that perfection, for that end goal of being where we want to be in life. I think the future is very bright, man. I can't wait.
Throughout COVID, we had the opportunity to sort of test the waters with all the singles we released, saw which ones performed the best, and sort of got to gauge what people wanted out of us. Now that we have that valuable information and we didn't have to commit to an album of Maybe.
We've been surprised time and time again. Moments where we thought, man, maybe we should just hang it up, or maybe it's time to reconsider some options. We are proven wrong by the fans. So as long as the fans keep pumping life and blood into this project and into this world or universe or whatever the hell Cane Hill is, we'll keep going for you guys as long as you're willing to keep going for us. So many thanks to the fans and the people that are supporting us.
We've spent a significant amount of time trying to become the band that we've always wanted to be, and it feels like we're finally on the cusp of that. And we're finally all kind of on the same page. And we couldn't have done it without being independent. We could have done it without COVID making us realign all of our priorities. And we couldn't have done it without the help of all of our friends who have stuck with us when others have been afraid to stick with us, I guess. John DeLeese, Dreamseeker Productions, Ty Traherne, Maddie, Pelegsma, our old manager Andy Snape, pivotal in us becoming what we are. We didn't do this alone. But we're going to keep going. It's going to get cool.